So I recently had my first tournament of the year after months of not fencing in AP, and the results were better than I was expecting, but I'm still not happy. Granted, I did have a cold, but I'm still not happy with where I'm at with my fencing level. Over the summer, I had fenced with lightsabers in Las Vegas, and I had fenced with African weapons in Philadelphia, but it's not exactly the same thing. The first tournament of the year is always where you gauge where you're at with your fencing and what you have to do over the course of the season. So here are my thoughts after my first tournament of the year. In my last video about my personal fencing called Fat Fencer, I talked about how being overweight gets in my way of fencing, and since then I have lost some weight, but it's not nearly enough to make a huge dent in my abilities to fence. I'm happy with how much I lost, but it's not nearly enough. However, with that lost weight, I do feel more comfortable in my skin. I fit better in my clothes. It makes things a little easier. I've also been helping coach at my fencing club, and with that means I'm constantly doing the basics. And by constantly doing the basics, I feel more confident in my basic actions, obviously, but it lends to things feeling more smooth for me, mixed in with that slight weight loss. Unfortunately, I haven't had a personal lesson in like 4 to 5 years, but with that constant doing of the basics, I had enough confidence that I didn't freeze much, I didn't hesitate much, which hesitation is what kills you. So I'm happy with the fact that I don't feel out of place on the pist, and I just do what I have to do with what I can do. Now, that being said, I have been working on the basics a lot, which means that my confidence is high in basic actions, but my fencing is hella ugly right now, and my footwork is leagues away from where it should be. Now, this mixed bag of confidence in my basic actions with sloppy footwork, in my opinion, lends it to the fact that I was actually confident enough to do really well in pools. I only lost 3 matches in 2 rounds of pools, which is not normal for me. I usually just warm up in the pools. That's my own personal problem. But this time I just went through it, and I only lost to the people that I thought I should lose to in my current state, which was great for me to have. Now, where the crap hits is where I lost my first round of the elimination match, which I'm not happy with at all. But all things encompassing with everything that's happening, it makes sense, but that's where I'm not happy. I wasn't able to keep that level of control and dominance into the elimination match with my current state of my body and health. So overall, my opinion on my fencing right now is that it's on the right track, but it's missing a few pieces. The fact that I'm on a downward trend for my weight is good, but it needs to be going faster in the sense of I've been lacking in that regard. My footwork is abysmal, and that's what needs work. That's for sure. When the footwork is put into place, everything will come to better with more cohesion because I'll be stable. But the thing is, I have a Canada Cup coming up in less than 2 weeks, and that's not enough time to make immense progress in what I have to do. So I have to come up with a plan for the next few days. So all that being said, I don't have a lot of time to do some work. So my goal is simply to work out a bit so that when I get to that tournament, I'm a well-oiled machine. I'm not going to try and push immense boundaries, but what I will do is make sure that my body is conditioned more than it is now, so I have a better chance during that tournament. The main focus during these next few days is going to be my legs. I'm going to work on footwork, and mostly footwork. If I can get that down, I will have a much better chance of success with most of my moves and just being able to fight on good terms with other people who may be more fit than me. It might seem like a minor thing, but it's the thing that will serve me the best in the short amount of time that I have. I will be analyzing some of my matches from the previous weekend, even though I kind of don't want to because they're kind of ugly, but I'll go through what I'm thinking during the matches and why things happened the way they did in my eyes, just so for me, for one thing, but also so you guys can see how I fence. It's not as clean as I'd like it to be. I do comment on other people's combat, and this will make you fully aware of how much work I need to do as well. On that note, thank you so much for watching. If you haven't subscribed, please do so, and I'll see you in the next video.